All right, here we go. It's February 23rd, 2024. I am doing a market analysis in an area that we have been getting a lot of interest in from a good amount of groups up in NorCal specifically. So during COVID, Lake Tahoe got really impacted. Home prices skyrocketed. Yeah, it's really hard to find anything there that's cheap or affordable, or even close to affordable. Yeah, with remote working becoming kind of the new norm, Tahoe's just crazy impacted now. I mean, it's beautiful, but super expensive if you want to get into nature from the Bay Area. So, with things heating up in Tahoe and becoming very unaffordable and impacted and crowded, there are plenty of other places in the Sierra Nevadas that people are looking at now. It only makes sense that people are starting to explore some of these lesser known, lesser talked about areas. One of these areas is here in the Stanislaus National Forest, kind of in the foothills. So if you go directly east of the Bay Area, San Francisco, San Jose, East Bay, Marin, you go through Stockton, you find this really cool kind of like triangle area right here. There are some really cool names. Copperopolis is one of my favorites. But this is towards Tuolumne in the Sierra Nevadas. You can see it right there. I actually did a backpacking trip near Strawberry, which is by Bumblebee, I think, Pinecrest area, a year and a half ago. Super beautiful. So in this kind of triangle area, you have a bunch of really cool towns with easy access to the Sierra Nevadas and the foothills for outdoor activities, summer, winter, whenever. You have lakes, you have rivers, you have mountains, and I think there's some small ski resorts out here too. I stayed in Twain Harte on that backpacking trip, really cool area too. But yeah, really this triangle right here from like Long Barn, Copperopolis to Groveland, people are becoming interested in. So we're going to analyze this area. This is this is a tool that's only available to our admins right now. So if you want access to this, work with one of our co-buy planners. It's free to work with them. And they'll use this tool to analyze different markets. So CAGR means expected or projected appreciation every year over the next 5 years. And then we have all this rental data that's projecting forward looking, not just historical. So you can see Tuolumne County. We only have county level info for a lot of these cities. Really impressive appreciation per year, almost 5% per year, 4.84. If you go down, we actually get zip code level data for places like Sonora, Groveland, and Twain Harte. And that kind of makes up that triangle that I was talking about showing on Google Maps. Sonora and Groveland have higher appreciations than Twain Harte, but still very respectable in terms of projected appreciation. Kind of all across the board. You can't beat this triangle area, for the price point. Sure, you can get a place in San Francisco that's going to appreciate 7.5% per year, but you're going to spend $1.5 million at minimum. Here in this area, I'm going to go into our app and look on our listing search feature. We're going to kind of start on this top right corner of the triangle in Twain Harte. So Twain Harte, very remote, or not very remote, super remote, very wooded area, very outdoors. You can see by the photos, a lot of these homes are older, probably built, 50 years ago at least. Some of them have been renovated, which is very nice. You can see this place for $469. You can see the interior has been renovated, redone. I mean, the bathrooms are awesome. Kitchen is awesome. This is not always the case in this area. That's the big caveat with this area. It's out in a more rural setting, out in the woods. So you are going to want to make sure that you get a place that's already been renovated. Trying to get a contractor out there is going to be expensive. It's out in the elements. Big thing is going to be plumbing. It does get snow in this area. So when you are buying a house, plumbing is the big thing, and the foundation. Goes hot to cold throughout the year. Again, snow, ice, heat. These are things that expand and contract. So if you can, I would recommend bumping your budget up in between $400,000 and $500,000 so that you get a place that's already renovated. You don't have to bring a contractor out there, workers out there to rebuild or like redo the interior, paint, craftsmanship on cabinets, flooring, etc. is probably going to be expensive and a headache. So I would elect for looking at a larger budget, higher price point. You can see that between long-term rental and short-term rental, this place is actually more in Sonora. We had a request to do Sonora as well. If this is purely an investment property, and you're not planning on using it and you want to Airbnb it, you're going to make about $2,600 a month from Airbnb, but your mortgage and expenses are going to be about $3,500. So still at the end of the month, you're going to be paying about $900 to own this home. But your appreciation is going to be excellent. So if this is a place that you want to, vacation in and use, and then supplement some of your expenses with Airbnb, that's kind of what I'd look at this whole area for, the whole triangle of Twain Harte to Groveland, up to Copperopolis. Keep that in mind that it's going to be harder to find places that cash flow as pure investments. These are really places you want to vacation and then supplement with Airbnb income. So yeah, the big thing looking at a lot of these places, I think I picked out places. You can see this Harte. I went in and did some searching. You're going to want to find places that have a little bit of renovation done to it. Again, getting contractors out there is going to be expensive and a pain in the ass. Big thing, plumbing, pipes, foundation. Get those inspected before you enter. Make sure that you have like 30 days to get the proper inspections done. Don't just do like, hey, all cash, waive contingencies. You want contingencies out here because it is out in the wilderness. And you would hate to uncover a plumbing issue or a foundation issue after you purchase the home. But there are a lot of homes here. You can see this one's a little bit smaller, $329,000. It's a 3-bed. So there are things in the price range of $300,000 to $500,000 that I think are great options out here, have a lot of potential, get you out in the wilderness. Again, this is that Sonora area, Phoenix Lake. If you go further west, so this is more out of the foothills, but you still get nature. This is a great little spot. It's in contract, which makes sense. $335,000. It's got a funky interior. Again, you'd have to see if the plumbing and foundation are solid here, but it looks like it's well maintained. You probably want to do different furnishings. But yeah, it gets you closer to the foothills. Let's see if you Airbnb it out. Yeah. Still not going to cash flow positive for you, but we're assuming this is a vacation and you're going to Airbnb it out when you're not using it. Let's take a look. Oh, here's a good example. So this one's about $400,000, 3,100 square feet. This place is massive, which is really cool. Cool lot, cool yard. But this also means a lot of foundation and a lot of home to inspect before you buy this place. Again, this is going to get snow at times. This is going to be freezing and then hot throughout the year. Wood is going to be an issue. You don't know if there's termites out here. You don't know about moisture and mold. So yeah, that's a caveat. I mean, it looks like this deck is pretty brand new, speaking of which. But interior, I mean, I don't know if this is moisture or whatever. It is a lot of home to sink money into, to renovate, to rip out all these carpets, check the floors. You don't even know what's in the walls. This is why I'd spend more money for a place that has recently been renovated and has a little more history. From people ripping up the floors and maybe poking into walls. You get a little more history, recent history. People have exposed the foundation and hopefully some of the drywall and insulation. Whereas these places, you can tell, like, who knows what's under this laminate. It looks like you'd really want to check plumbing on some of these places that haven't been updated recently. Um, so yeah, I'd say that's my um, high level analysis. Is if I'm looking in this triangle, I'm trying to bump up my price range above $400,000, because typically you'll get a renovated home with more recent history. You can see this one; they probably ripped up the floor, poked around in some walls to do some of the remodeling. So I would lean more towards a place like this, that's $450,000. You can see I'm assuming this is not wood decking. This is like the weather all. I don't know the name of the actual decking itself. It's a call in the background. Excuse me. Just gonna hit off. Um, and bathrooms are new, so hopefully that means the plumbing has been addressed. Stainless steel lines have been replaced, hopefully. Yeah, this place looks really killer. I'm surprised it's active and not in contract. Let's see, as a short term rental, yeah, you're still not going to cash flow as a short term rental, but in terms of appreciation, vacation ability here, I mean, look at that lot. This place is fully renovated, looks moved in ready. Man, this is a sweet, sweet spot. I'm going to save this one, add to my Tuolumne group, or Sierra Nevada right there, because this place is sweet. So there are definitely places that are older homes with newer renovation. Um, Really, it's a matter of personal preference, I think, in this triangle of, what do you want to be close to? Do you want to be closer to the Sierra Nevadas and further up towards Bumblebee, Strawberry, Pinecrest, and have easy access? Or, do you want to be a little bit flatter, more, less trees, more of kind of like this rolling hill, grassland, kind of terrain? Yeah, a ton of price points in here, really good options. I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of the velocity start to pick up this year. It already has compared to last year. Um, but yeah, I mean, this whole area is very cool. If you go up towards the four, there's this whole other stretch of the Sierra Nevadas, which is also becoming popular. I think that there is somewhere up here, Bear Valley, there is a ski resort. So yeah, you can already see there's a few places up there. But yeah, a lot of the Sierra Nevada is becoming more and more popular. Remote work is here to stay. People want an escape from the Bay Area. Um, so yeah, excited to see what this area does in the next year. And hopefully this helps the groups that we have looking in these areas evaluate and understand this area a little bit better. Have a good Friday and a good weekend, everybody.